Tourist speedboat crashes into rocks as it returns to Phuket after day trip to Phi Phi and Krabi on Sunday. Phuket Speedboat Horror. Captain unconscious, tourists injured in Maiton Island high-impact collision. End-of-year danger on Thailand's waters again in focus following the tragedy in Phang-nga province. A number of hospitals in Phuket on Sunday received patients from a rescue operation launched after a speedboat collided with rocks off Maiton Island. There are concerns for the captain of the vessel who was unconscious when rescued. 3 Chinese tourists and 4 Russians were on the vessel as well as 2 crew including the captain. One of those injured was a 3-year-old child. An emergency response was coordinated by maritime rescue centers on New Year's Eve. It came after a speedboat collided with rocks near an island off Phuket on Sunday afternoon. 9 people were reported as injured, including 7 tourists and a 3-year-old child. In another end-of-year tragedy at sea, a speedboat named Aparak 89 crashed into rocks off Phuket. The high-powered craft collided with a seaside boulder on the edge of Maiton Island. At length, the impact left the captain seriously injured and several tourists, including a 3-year-old child, in distress. The incident, which occurred on December 31, 2023, triggered a swift response from local authorities and emergency services. Accident reported in the late afternoon to rescue centers who organized an emergency response which included boats and ambulances to ferry the injured. At approximately 3:40 p.m., the Andaman Maritime Traffic Control and Safety Center, along with the Sorchonberry Center Part 3, coordinated efforts with the Phuket Marine Police to respond to the distress call. The speedboat, with nearly 10 passengers on board, had crashed into rocks off Maiton Island, prompting immediate action from rescue teams. The Rai Subdistrict Municipality Rescue Team, Shillong Subdistrict Municipality Rescue, Phuket Tourist Assistance Center, KMUK, Phuket Provincial Administrative Organization, Ambulance Services, Shillong Hospital, and Shillong Police Station quickly mobilized resources to address the emergency. Firstly, speedboats were dispatched to the scene. At the same time, others waited at Shillong Bay Pier for the injured to be transported to local hospitals. All 9 passengers reported as having sustained injuries in the crash, with the captain thought to be unconscious and seriously injured from the impact. A speedboat from the Phuket Tourist Assistance Center played a crucial role in assisting injured tourists off the crashed vessel. The passengers, comprising both Asian and European nationals, including children, were brought back to Shillong Bay Pier. Afterwards, they were distributed to various hospitals based on the severity of their injuries. 9 individuals, including the captain identified as Mr. Nathafong Kongwilai, were injured in the incident. Mr. Nathafong, the speedboat's captain, remains in a serious condition and unconscious. Certainly, there are heightened concerns about the extent of his injuries. The 3-year-old child was also reported to be in a similar state. At this time, a preliminary investigation into the incident has been carried out. Charter boat which carried the tourists to the Phi Phi Islands and Krabi on Sunday. It was returning home but made an unexpected stop at Maiton Island. In brief, it revealed that the speedboat, named Aparak 89, operates as a charter vessel. It departed from Shillong Bay Pier earlier on Sunday. It was destined for Phi Phi Island in Krabi province. The boat carried 3 Chinese and 4 Russian tourists, along with the captain and a helmsman, totaling 9 passengers. Later, as it returned from the trip, the speedboat made a detour and stopped at Maiton Island. Briefly, this is located in the Phuket subdistrict of Phuket. It then made its way back to Shillong Bay Pier. However, during that journey, the boat collided with rocks on the eastern side of the Phuket subdistrict, resulting in multiple injuries. Initial reports suggest the captain lost control. The Phuket Regional Harbour Office initiated an investigation into the cause of the collision. Initial speculation suggests that the captain may have lost control of the boat, leading to the crash. The vessel sustained damage to the bow and hull, further complicating the ongoing investigation. Local authorities are working diligently to piece together the sequence of events that led to this latest maritime tragedy. The welfare of the injured tourists, particularly the unconscious 3-year-old child, remains a top priority. At the present time, medical professionals are working to stabilize their conditions. This is one of several maritime accidents and tragedies during this festive season. A string of maritime incidents and tragedies strike the country's southern seas during the festive season. On December 23, A tour boat carrying foreign tourists sank in Phang-nga province, leaving 56-year-old British artist Millie Young missing at sea, as well as the boat's cook. Fears for UK tourist Millie Young and boat cook Sam Nyang Chaichana, as MT rescue boat located. Stormy seas spark chaos and disruption as air and sea searches continue for those missing at sea in the south. Phuket speedboat involved in Tuesday's accident was seaworthy, but charges may still be filed. At the same time, days before Christmas, a ferry carrying over 70 foreign tourists sank on its way to Koh Tao. Significantly, all were rescued. However, later, 73 foreign tourists were also rescued off Satun province. Undoubtedly, this is a particularly busy time for foreign tourism in Thailand. However, it also coincides with potentially more hazardous sea conditions. Previously, in May this year, another speedboat crashed into a pier in Shillong, Phuket. That crash injured over 30 foreign tourists, including 6 critically. 10 suffered bone injuries and fractures.